Welcome to Seals on the Move. I'm Alex Seals.
And I'm Rosie Seals.
Want to know more about those nocturnal North American marsupials? We'll take you through a wild animal encounter at Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center in Nashville, Tennessee. Get ready to learn. So let's get a move on with Seals on the Move. Possible animals to see at the animal encounters include an eastern box turtle, a corn snake, a Virginia opossum, or a groundhog. There's an animal somewhere under this frozen towel. Kind of appropriate with the winter stuff still around here.
I heard someone say it's a possum. Just to see.
Oh, it's a possum?
I don't know.
I've seen a possum up close before. One got into our house once.
We are micless today, so I'm going to keep the talking short. But we are a wildlife hospital in Nashville. So what we do is we take injured and orphaned wildlife, make them stronger so we can get them back out into the wild. So today we brought with us one of our educational ambassadors. All of our educational ambassadors unfortunately can't be put into the wild for one reason or another. So the one we brought today, this animal is nocturnal. So it's active at nighttime. It's got a long tail to help it climb. It's native to Tennessee, so it lives in Tennessee. And it's got a pouch. Does anyone have an idea about what animal? What do you, any other guesses? Oh my gosh, tell me. Yes! Nice! So, we are talking about opossums today. And opossums, again, they have a pouch, right? They're called marsupials because their babies are born extremely underdeveloped. They're born literally the size of a kidney bean. So I'm going to have Rebecca around this kidney bean to give you an idea of how small a baby opossum is when it's born. But it's the size of a kidney bean. And you'll see Zari in a second. So they grow pretty big. They develop in long pouches. So that's why a lot of marsupials have pouches so that the babies can grow and develop. So I'm going to switch over so you guys can get an up-close look, because it's really something not a lot of people see in their lifetime is the pouch of an opossum, right? So if you look close, you'll see those really tiny babies. Opossums can have up to 13 babies at one time. So that's a lot of babies, right? And it's easy to take care of them when they're the size of a kidney bean. But as they start to grow and develop, they're gonna get a little bit too big to fit into that pouch. So this might be kind of a relatable picture for maybe some of the parents out there. But as they can no longer fit in the pouch, you'll see them crawl onto the back. So eventually, one of those babies is gonna grow off, right? She can't hold him for that long. Maybe she gets spooked and she takes off, or they get down to eat at nighttime and something spooks her, so she'll take off. Not great at counting, and they don't really have any vocal cords, so what you'll hear is like a sound, so they'll go. If you hear that, it might be a baby possum calling for its mom. And so once it falls off, it's ready to be on its own, and this whole process only takes about 2 to 3 months, which doesn't sound like a long time, but these guys only live to be about 2 or 3 years old max. So even in captivity, the oldest possum has been 5 years old, and really there's only a handful of them that make them that long. So these guys are really short-lived.
Ooh, microphone. Still doesn't work.
Still doesn't work. That's fine. All right, so you guys came to meet an animal, of course, so we're gonna bring out Zari. She is she maintains kind of a wild possum personality. So raise your hand if you've seen a possum, either on the side of the road or in your backyard, in your garage, something like that. Okay, great. So you know, when they get scared, they might show you their 50 sharp teeth, and that can look really intimidating. Between Rebecca and I, we've worked with about 10,000 possums, and I can tell you I've never been bit by one. So that's not to say to go out and grab possums or anything like that, right? But these guys are extremely docile. They really just want to be safe and get away from danger. So she is very scared. She can smell everybody in this audience. And so we just want to make her feel safe. The number one way we can do that is just to not touch the gate. So that's the big thing I ask, is just don't touch the gate so she can have her space. These guys are nocturnal, so I am waking her up from a nap. Oh, there she is. This is pretty cute. Oh, there we go, great. So Zari is 2 years old, and she was rescued by a 9-year-old boy. So it's pretty cool to think that a 9-year-old boy saved her life, right? We talked about their pouches, and so what happened was there was a possum that was hit by a car, and the 9-year-old boy had his dad pull over so they could check the mom's pouch. So even if the mom gets hit by a car, they can still have a pouch full of babies. And so sure enough, there was one possum alive, and it was Zari. So him and his dad took her home, and like you might be able to guess, maybe a 9-year-old boy is not the best possum mom. He raised her on milk, so cow's milk. And just like you can't raise a human baby on cow's milk, you can't raise a possum on cow's milk. And so you'll see her back end is a little bit weak. She has her bones didn't develop properly, so they're not very strong. And what I'm gonna have Rebecca do is tell you a little bit more, maybe like head to tail about opossums. So their sense of smell, their tail, their feet, their ears, their teeth, all the things. Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to talk really loud. I might just stand back and pull my mask down. So you can see Zari is kind of walking around and looking for the food that Debbie is putting down for her, and she's using mostly her sense of smell to find that food. So we just put down a feeder puzzle that I'm sure some of you have seen for your dogs that you can get, and it helps stimulate their mind. That's the same for Zari. In the wild, we're searching around on the forest floor or in the backyard looking for insects and grubs and things to eat, and she's going to use her nose to try to find that. So she might try to open one up and she can smell it inside. They have a really good sense of smell. They do have a lot of teeth that they may show you if they're scared. It's one of their ways to kind of defend themselves from predators. So they'll open their mouth really wide and you can see all of the teeth in there. But they aren't going to try to bite you, because everything with teeth will try to bite you. Even me, I'll try to bite you. I have teeth. But they have lots of teeth to help them chew any different types of food that they eat. Because they eat a very wide range of different foods. They're omnivores, which means they eat meat, but also fruits and veggies. Sometimes even your garbage in your backyard. You'll also see their ears. They're very big within and they're black. And right now they're really susceptible to getting frostbite because of how thin it is. Their hands, if you can see Zari's hands, they're really widespread, and then when she turns around you'll see her back ones. Those help them climb things. Sometimes you'll see them way up in trees, and at night when they're trying to come down from after their necessarily true. As babies, they have a lot of tail strength, but as they become older, that tail strength doesn't allow them to hang fully just from their tail from a tree, but they will use it to make a nest. And a nest for them is a bunch of leaves, sticks, to make a den to keep them nice and warm at night. So they'll take their tail and gather up a whole bunch of leaves, a whole bunch of sticks, a whole bunch of plants, and make a nice, really warm place for them to spend the day sleeping. Or if they need to get out of the weather, like we're having this weekend, they'll take their tail and grab a whole bunch of stuff to put so they can sleep inside of it. You can see she's also grabbing and moving them and seeing if there's any treats inside. And with her hands, they're really good at grabbing things and opening them up and exploring their world around them. So you can see Zari, she's really smart at opening these. And she knows where the goodies are because her sense of smell is telling her there's something inside. Their fur also keeps them really nice and insulated and protected from the weather, but they still can get frostbite on their hands and feet, their tail and their ears and their nose because they're not protected by all that good fur that they have on them. It's really thick. Anyone have any questions about opossums or Zari? What is it eating? Oh my gosh, what is she eating? So Zari has a range of different foods that she's eating. The question was, what is she eating currently? Right now, Zari, she absolutely loves grapes. So she has some grapes in her puzzle feeder for her. We also have some cut up mice, some smelt, which is a type of fish. And then she also has a very, very special treat that she gets when she does a good job on programs. It's called a Shiba, which is a pet dog food that she loves. But that's a treat special that she gets when she does good.
What do they eat in the wild?
So in the wild, they're going to be eating a whole range of things. So they might be eating small insects, lizards, they might be digging and looking for grubs. If there's a fallen tree, they might be searching to see if there's any insects there. They'll also eat different plants in the wild, wild berries. In more suburban areas, they might even come up to your back door, eat your cat food or dog food if you leave that out as well. So you'll see them eating that too. But they have a very wide range of different things they eat, and it's kind of regionally too. So in some areas of the United States, they may be eating a different type of lizard or amphibian or even small snakes sometimes. And then in different regions, they'll be eating something completely different. So they're really, really adaptable to their environment. Ooh, venomous snake. That's okay. So Debbie mentioned venomous snakes. Do you think possums can eat venomous snakes?
No.
Who thinks yes? Raise your hand. Who thinks no, they can eat venomous snakes? They actually can eat venomous snakes, which is pretty awesome. They have that ability to do that. Do you have a question, little man? Yeah, that's okay. She has a question. What's your question?
Do you have opossums as pets?
Ooh, good
That's
question.
a great question. So the question was, can you have possums as pets? Who thinks owning a possum would be fun? No. You may think it's fun, but in reality, it's not fun at all. And also, would it be fair to Zari if her wild friends were all taken to be pets? Probably not. These guys are not designed to be pets. They're designed to be able to roam different areas. They're designed to be able to dig through things. And in Tennessee, it is illegal to keep possums as pets that are taken from the wild. So we don't want to do that. In most states, it's illegal to do that as well. So I wouldn't say that kind are very nice. They're very good to keep a possum as a pet. I would stick with dogs or cats.
Yeah, we worked with, between us, like all the different species in Tennessee, and possums have the stinkiest poop. The smelliest poop. Even stinkier than raccoons. So.
Is there any other questions that anyone has?
Yeah. Would she be able to survive in the wild if you released her back in?
So the question was, would Zari be able to survive in the wild if we were to re-release her? Due to the conditions that she was kept in when she was found by the 9-year-old boy, has made her develop a condition called metabolic bone disease. So that means that she wasn't fed the proper nutrition when she was growing up. So her bones are a lot weaker, and they also can look deformed. So if you look at the back end of her, you'll see that she's a lot more splayed out than they normally would be. So that would inhibit her ability to climb trees, get over large trunks of trees that have fallen. So she wouldn't be able to survive for very long if you were to re-release her.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Do you have a question?
Why is her ear like pink on this side?
Ooh, good question.
On which side?
That side.
On that side. So when they're born, no possum looks exactly the same. So they're going to have different colorations on them as well. So that's part of the pigment on her ears. That is just unique to her. If you would like to continue learning more about different animals that we see at Nashville Wildlife Conservation Center, you can always follow us on social media such as Facebook or Instagram. We post about Zari, our other educational ambassadors, and patients that we currently have at our wildlife hospital. So we're overwintering lots of different animals, and you can always see what we're doing at our center on social media.
Ooh, are you telling what we should do if you find a baby possum?
Yeah. So if you find a baby possum in the spring or summer or fall, you should always call your nearest wildlife rehabilitator before taking it home and keeping it so you know what to do. It may be big enough to be on its own. It may need to go into a licensed wildlife rehabilitator to become big enough to then be re-released.
Made her jump. The Nashville Wildlife Conservation Center's mission is to help the community connect, conserve, and coexist with nature. We hope you enjoyed this episode. What was the most surprising thing you learned about possums? Let us know in the comments. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. Share this with your friends, subscribe to stay up to date with our adventures, and strike the bell to be notified when we upload. If you would like to support us, our Patreon link is down below. As always, thanks for watching and supporting.